Hello there, Sega nerds! Today we are taking a look at Sonic Runners Adventure. Now, as we reported the other day, the game has received a soft launch in certain countries such as the UK and Russia, and it's not in its final state yet, so this is a preview of the game. Now, anyone who listens to the Nerdcast will probably know that I'm not a very big fan of mobile games, especially endless runners. I feel they serve no real purpose, and I don't enjoy them. I tend to enjoy games that actually have end goals to them. So I'm very happy to report that Sonic Runners Adventure is not an endless runner. Players are treated to various levels across different zones and even boss battles. Now, the game builds on the original Sonic Runners, and I'm going to go ahead and assume here that Sega is hoping to gain some better success from the back of Nintendo's very well received Super Mario Run. With Sega, or rather Gameloft in this situation because they are the ones who developed the game, they're creating Sonic Runners Adventure to be a bit more like a classic Sonic title mixed with the typical mobile phone runner games. Now, like the original Sonic Runners and Super Mario Run, Sonic runs along automatically, and it's up to the player to tap the screen at the right moments to avoid obstacles, kill enemies, collect rings, and reach your goal. Now, I didn't get a chance to play the original Sonic Runners much, but I can instantly tell that this game is an improvement, at least in concept. As mentioned, rather than running endlessly, you now have levels, each with their own goals, i.e. pick up X number of rings or kill X number of bandits. You receive up to 3 stars per level, depending on how well you do with the goals. Now, this to me feels much more satisfying than just get as far as you can in a typical running game. Along with the levels, there is a story to this game too, told through speech boxes next to still characters. You, that's Sonic, receive a scrambled message from Tails telling you that someone, obviously Robotnik, has kidnapped the animals and for you to come and help. You then go through various levels trying to find Tails, save the animals and get Robotnik. Yes, it's flimsy, but it's a classic Sonic story and it serves its purpose. Now, I don't think anyone really complained about Super Mario Run's story, where Peach was once again kidnapped by Bowser, along with the cake she was making for Mario, so I can't see why they're going to complain about Sonic's story. At the time of playing, the game features 4 worlds, or zones: Green Hill, Desert Ruins, Lava Mountain and Sky Sanctuary. Each of them have 10 levels, plus a boss battle and bonus stages throughout, which are unlocked through pickups during levels. As you progress, you see Sonic make his way through a map of hexagons, and you're free to return to previous levels to try and beat your previous score or earn more stars, which go to help unlock new zones and characters. The downside is that during brief moments of story progression, where Sonic and his friends are commenting on the events in the game, they will make references to things around them, like a factory where badniks are being built, or a fortress, but these never actually appear in levels. Levels remain very much Green Hill or Desert Ruins, and the backgrounds and platforms you run on never stray from their initial designs. In fact, the further you progress, the more often you see repeating sections of levels. Now, speaking about characters, as you progress through the game, you unlock characters across 3 different teams, similar to those found in Sonic Heroes. Each team has 3 playable characters who have slightly different playstyles: speed, flight and power. So far, I haven't earned enough rings to buy Team Chaotix or Team Dark, but I can assume they all play very similar to the Team Hero counterparts. Tails is a little slower than Sonic, and he can't jump as high, but he can fly for brief periods. The flight is something you need to get used to, because it's not like the old Sonic games where you used to tap jump for flight. Instead you have to tap jump and then tap again and hold briefly. It's awkward to always get the right height, and instead of dropping to the ground when you want him to, he will glide down. At the time of recording, I've only progressed far enough to unlock Tails and the second zone, Desert Ruins. Now if you're wondering why I haven't gone further, let me explain. As I said at the start, this is a first impressions or a preview of the game because it's not in its finished state. By the looks of it, all the content is in place, but the game is far from perfect playability wise. I'm running the game on my Asus ZenPad, which should be able to handle the game well, but I'm receiving varying frame rate issues. At times the game is running so damn fast that it becomes jerky and it actually kind of hurts my eyes. I can't really keep up with what's happening on the screen, and neither can the game it seems. There are moments where it looks as though there's a bottomless pit ahead of you, only for the ground to suddenly pop up just as you're stepping on it. There are also times that the game will literally throw you into obstacles, such as certain springboards and boost rings that you have no control over in the game, and they fling you into the sides of spikes or enemies, causing you to lose rings. Now, on my first play, I got through to level 5 pretty quickly, and I was really enjoying my experience, even with the dodgy frame rates. But level 5 seems to be a bit of a bitch, and has the worst example of the bugs I found so far in the game. I was constantly being thrown into obstacles, or the game gets so jerky that I'm missing things and falling into pits, ultimately resulting in my death and the need to restart the level. Each time I did feel as though I was getting better, but would suddenly die, and usually, not all the time but usually, it felt like it was not my fault. the level is virtually unplayable at times. Now, obviously I progressed further than level 5, but the bugs continue, and on some levels Sonic will be running so fast, frames will be skipping as the game tries to keep up with the action. Also, a little side note, the load times are a little longer than I'd like, varying from about 10 seconds up to 30 seconds, but at the moment they are manageable and by far not the worst problems in the game. The good news is that despite the game's current buggy state, I do see signs of being a really good game. The levels are really enjoyable, and while they aren't as complex as the classic 16-bit Sonic levels, they do offer multiple routes. Yay! When the game is running smoothly, Sonic is very easy to control and, I'm very happy to say this, it has no lock-on attack, which means I feel like there's more skill involved in this game than other Sonic titles. If you successfully jump on one enemy, Sonic does tend to bounce across other enemies, but you do have that initial jump that requires some skill. The way levels play out is different too, adding to gameplay variety. Some levels you go from point A to point B, and you just need to achieve your goal in order to earn stars and unlock the next level. But some levels have you run laps where you repeat the level 3 times. Now wait, on paper that sounds really bad, but it works out really well, as it offers you a chance to explore the new routes on each lap that you go through, and any rings you previously picked up are no longer there, which kind of forces your hand, but it makes it more of a challenge to seek out the different paths that a level might take. Another plus are the unlockables and upgrades. As mentioned, you can unlock up to 9 playable characters along the way. You can upgrade your teams and use special boost items such as invincibility, or even lining bottomless pits with springs so that when you fall down then, you don't die. Ultimately, I'm impressed with Sonic Runner's Adventure. As I said, I don't tend to like mobile games, but this is one that I can see myself playing, enjoying, and even going as far as completing. Right now though, the game is far too buggy to be released commercially. I'm not sure when Gameloft or SEGA intends to officially launch the game, but I do hope the team has the time to be able to fix the frame rate issues and the unfair Death Star experience. Ultimately, it's one to look out for and has the potential to be a very enjoyable and possibly even brilliant Sonic the Hedgehog game. Expect a full review on SegaNerds.com when the game is officially released worldwide. Thanks for watching.